Hey, you guys, how are ya?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, hey.
Hey.
That was a
Hey,
little bit.
everybody.
That was a little bit down tempo, Adam.
Um, you wanted truth? I was looking for something clever to say and my brain froze. So I will plead guilty. That was a slow one.
That's fair. That's fair.
Appreciate your honesty.
Thank you. That's my best quality.
You're only gonna have more of these moments as you approach 30. Get ready.
Well, less than a year to go, so bring it on.
Imagine all the things you'll forget.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yep.
So you guys, we have quite a bit to cover today. And just when we thought we were going to be talking about AJ McLean, I still have a hard time saying it. McLean. There, that's how you say it.
You did a great job.
Thank you very much.
Sharon.
He points the finger at one of the coolest artists from today. He's also got some stuff going on in his life, so we'll put a pin in that for a quick second because we've also got sad news about the loss of one of the fun ones. I guess everybody's a fun one, but this is it's sort of sad and getting sadder as far as the group LFO is concerned. Also coming off of award show season, which I'm not even sure is a season specific to one chunk of the year, because it seems like there's award shows on all the time and they're good. So we're going to talk about a couple of those and performances that really, I don't know, leveled up the experience of watching these award shows, certainly. And how country wasn't necessarily just country at the CMT Awards. So we'll talk about that and a few other things around those awards. Also, we've got news about one particular set of circumstances that will please Kentucky Shane to no end, no doubt. And of course, Kelly's trivia, got a 90s rewind that'll dive right into the middle of our favorite decade. But back to AJ McLean, that his fingers are pointed directly at Lizzo. Why?
What's going on?
Well, he points to her honesty and vulnerability as characteristics that we need more of in the world.
Because you made it sound like a bad thing when you said it first.
No, it's all positive actually. When your fingers getting pointed for positive reasons, you can be loud and proud about it. And Lizzo has certainly done a great deal of work, not just on and for herself, but in doing all of what she's been doing artistically over the past few years, probably more than a couple. COVID brain. She's generated a real inspiration for people to do the same. So AJ's on board. That's what I was reading. What were you reading about that, Kel?
I was reading that AJ McLean also is a very loud and proud girl dad, and so I'm not surprised that he counts Lizzo as an awesome inspiration.
Yeah.
So, and I'd like to point out also that AJ was recently hanging out on Lance Bass's podcast.
Nice.
And Lance called him McLean. So you're already winning, Sharon.
Oh,
thank you. So he called him McLean, but did AJ himself call himself McLean? Is that it?
Yeah, he's McLean.
It's too much.
Yeah, because I remember, and I'll say allegedly, but I'm 95% sure my memory will tell me that that's what Lance says. Because I think at the time I was like, oh, he said it that way, but we know it's McLean now. So I think everybody on the planet, including Lance, thinks it was McLean.
Yeah, because that's the way it's said.
Yeah.
He can pronounce his name however he wants, and he can educate us along the way, that's sure. But he should probably take a look over at Lance Bass and tell him too.
Yeah. And also this was late breaking news that I only saw today on Instagram. AJ, I know for a fact, had surgery yesterday as of our recording.
Wow.
I think it was for hernia. I'll say allegedly. But we wish him a speedy recovery because he was already, it sounded like it was a day surgery. He was up and about, but he says he has recovery time ahead of him. So he's such a sweet boy. We wish him the best.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, the interesting thing about AJ, we can just leave it at AJ, back to being a girl dad, is that he points to the team effort of him and his wife and how they they want to parent their kids. Everyone is beautiful. Everyone is unique. He said that his youngest came up to him a few times upset. Daddy, why don't I look like my sister? She asked. He asked, I think, his son is his son Lyric?
No, so he has 2 daughters, Lyric and Elliot.
Thank you.
And Elliot used to be Ava.
Okay. There you go. Well, he was quick to point out you're unique. Your sister's unique. And that's concise. I think parents have to be on their toes when it comes to questions like that to make sure that they're nudging their kids in a loving and correct way. You know, not politically correct, not that kind of correct, but you want to be as informed as possible about what you're saying and how it will be absorbed by your kids. So good on him. Now, as far as the team effort, no doubt that they'll parent together still, but he and his wife are taking a bit of a break from the marriage part of that team. Which,
I have to say, this shocked me.
Yeah, you know, you know what, we know being in relationships, it's not easy. Than being in relationships with careers, with kids, with, you know,
while being famous.
Exactly. There's a ton of stuff going on. And he said, or the press release states that the plan is to come back together and continue to nurture our love for one another and our family. We ask for respect and privacy at this time. Separation is hard enough without the commentary. Please be kind and remember there are children involved.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, and they've been such a united front for so long, and she's been super supportive. And again, like, this is our commentary, third party. We're not in the house, so
No,
we
exactly.
don't know, but from afar and from what he has said before, like, she's been super supportive of his battle or his journey to sobriety and to stay on sobriety.
Yep.
And so that's why I think it was a bit shocking for me, especially because as far as we know, he's been on the rails now for a fair amount of time, has gotten himself into shape. He's been showing up and doing everything he needs to be doing for Backstreet Boys, again, from what we know. I believe he just launched another part of his because he has a nail polish line, I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and I
AJ?
believe it's called Ava Dean, and maybe Adam can quickly check that out. But I believe he's just launched a new part to that line, because I think the line, like, the plan for that line is that it's going to expand into other beauty products. And so he was recently in Canada, actually, not promoting that, but promoting another project that he's doing. So he's got a lot going on, and it just always felt like they were such a tight unit. She was holding down the home front while he was off with BSB stuff and everything. So I just really hope that they can find their way back to each other, because it felt like they were good for each other.
And the line is called Ava Dean Beauty. There you go.
And the show that he was working on in Toronto was Fashion Hero, a new kind of beautiful. Really cool.
And he was on Celeb Drag Race, right? He won.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Adam, was it last
Neato.
year? Was it last year? He won recently. I think it was last year. Yeah, and he went to town. He really, and it was actually, he said, being on that show helped him, I think, become more secure in his own looks.
Right.
By doing that, like being a drag queen, which I just think is amazing. And he's been so supportive of the LGBTQ plus community. AJ is a really cool dude.
It's good to hear that news. You know, like, there's no shortage of negative stories about, you know, American legislation that they're trying to ban drag and do all those things that it's like, what are you doing? Self-expression is like on the top of their list of freedoms, right? On top of the list of all of our freedoms. So why would you zero in on something that clearly people get something positive from and say, no, that's wrong? It's confusing to everybody. If it's confusing to you, then there's steps that you can take to figure it out to make it not confusing for you, but don't wreck it for everybody else. The same thing's happening here. There's a story in the news that's been months in the making about a drag queen who's done story time at libraries, plural rather. And all of a sudden people are like, no, that can't happen. Like, for years, kids have been loving this fabulous queen come and tell them fun stories at the library. They go home and they have a nice time, right? Like,
yeah,
suddenly it's bothersome to someone and they create a stink about it. And God, like, there was just people that showed up at this location that it had been reorganized to a secret location for the people that wanted to go.
Mhm.
And somehow the location was found out by the protesters and they showed up to protest. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, it's so
If you don't want
It's-
to be there, don't be there. If you don't like it, don't like it. Move on.
it's mind-boggling to me, like absolutely
so
mind-boggling. And the thing
petty.
too is like, what's the difference of this person dressing up in drag versus like back in our day, Mr. Dress Up putting on a fake dog outfit? You know what I
He's
mean?
not a dog.
Yeah,
It's so silly.
it's
Like,
just it's like, how is it okay for one thing? Like, because like let's say somebody had decided to dress up as a football player or a baseball or a hockey player, like that'd be fine if they came in a Montreal Canadiens jersey and read books about
Yep.
sports or whatever.
Exactly.
So why is this? I don't know. I don't understand. Like it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but they never,
They never won any of the 12.
yeah, they nor the 13 for the baker's dozen. But anyway,
It's just so crazy. The world is crazy. If you can take a moment to make it a little less crazy for yourself, and if you're
Yeah.
doing that by listening to us, thank you.
yeah,
Thank you very much.
we're solving the world's problems, Adam and Sharon.
One
Oh.
episode at a time.
Yeah. Hey, let's get into some trivia, you guys.
Let's give it a try.
90s now. Trivia.
Bing bong.
Bing bong is right.
So we always start with a tough question, and this is under art and literature.
Start with it. We end with it too.
Would you have known the answer, Kelly? That's the real question.
That's right. The interesting thing, though, is with this particular question that I will be asking you from art and literature. It's actually like pop culture-y, so I feel like you should get it.
Okay.
Culture-y. Okay.
All right. Which literary character said, quote, "I will not get upset over men, but instead be poised and cool, Ice Queen."
Which literary character?
Um,
Is that what you
yeah.
said?
Literary, but also, dare I say it, on film.
Can I hear that question again, please?
The quote?
Can I hear that quote again?
I will not get upset over men, but instead be poised and cool as an ice queen. I think there's missing words here, but like a cool ice queen.
Sharon?
Yep.
Does this look like a confident expression, by the way?
Yeah.
Not at all. I'm gonna guess.
Sure, audio
Bridget-
listeners can see this.
Yeah, they can feel it. I'll guess Bridget Jones.
And you would be correct.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Victory is mine.
Wow. Nice one, Sharon.
Thank you very
Sharon,
much.
Isn't it
Bye, you
lotto
guys.
tonight? You should go buy a lotto ticket, isn't it?
I'm leaving. I'm leaving on that note. Goodbye.
You're like, I'm done. I'm done. Adam, did you have any clue?
I was going for I can't remember the girl in that movie. What's it called? Okay, so
Yes,
here's
I know
my
what you're talking
trivia.
about.
It's a really famous movie. So it's a girl. I think she's a prostitute,
Oh,
and then
Pretty
she
Woman?
falls in love with
Pretty
a
Richard
guy,
Gere.
Julie Roberts?
Richard Gere. There you go. So what's that movie?
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman. So I was going for the girl from Pretty Woman. That would have been my guess.
Very
That's
nice. A solid guess, but no.
Thank you.
Julia Roberts, but I don't remember her character name.
Julia Roberts, Pretty
Vivian?
Woman.
Is that Vivian? No, Vivian was her friend.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, she was Vivian.
Oh, she was. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. What was the friend's name? The one who like that actress is awesome, and I'm forgetting
Yes.
her name now.
Laura Sangiacomo.
Right.
and Vivian Ward was her name.
There we go.
Yeah,
Adam, can you
yeah,
find the
yeah.
name of the character of her best friend in the movie?
I can.
Let's go. This is great. I'm now.
I can and I will.
Oh well, can I? Vivian Ward's best friend. Let's get rid of the word best.
How about look up Laura
Uh,
Sangiacomo?
Kit DeLuca.
That's it.
DeLuca,
Yeah,
that's it.
There we are. Yep.
She was
Remember the
sassy.
Sounds
Attack
like
on. Yeah.
sounds like Cat DeLuna. Do you guys remember Cat DeLuna?
She was a singer, right?
Yep. From
Yeah.
the early 2000s or
Yeah.
late 2000s.
Nice.
Question number 2. Which brand whose denim was a 90s staple had a triangle as the main feature of their logo?
Sharon.
Go, Sharon.
Guess.
Yes.
Bravo. Wow. It's been a long time since we've had a two for two. Wow.
I know.
Wow.
Aaron, you need to
Again.
get that lotto ticket tonight.
Again, goodbye.
Well, bravo, Sharon.
Good job,
Bravo.
Thank
Sharon.
you very much. I'm feeling very, very smart.
And tired.
As you should.
I'll take my wins and maybe I'll be able to get my head through the door after we finish this. But we're talking about award shows before, and that the season continues. The iHeartRadio Music Awards were on. Did we talk about? I don't think we talked about that last
No, we
time.
did not
I
know.
think it was after we recorded our show last time.
Yeah.
But that award show was tight, on schedule, and fun.
Mm.
Like I thought it was super fun.
They usually do a good job with that one.
I thought it lacked a glaring representation, or the lack of representation of rock was glaring to me. But for whatever reason, they don't show those categories, and who knows why. And who knows why, because the CMT Music Awards were also fun with huge names performing and a lot of rock.
Mm-hmm.
My co-host and I on Show'em, Jay and I were talking the other day about how there was much more rock on the Country Music Awards than any of the other award shows.
Well,
Which
it
was
would make
great.
sense, right?
Well, no.
Why not?
Well, yes, it does make sense that there would be visibility on shows, but it should also be on the other shows. But they always tend to sort of focus on the pop.
Yeah, but I
stuff.
feel like a rock band will blend in a lot more with a Lou Combs or or Garth Brooks or whatever than with Lizzo and
I know,
Cardi B, and
certainly, but
it makes more sense on a sounding.
well,
from
I hear what you're
sound's
saying,
perspective.
and I respectfully disagree. Just because I agree with what you're saying in theory, but I think that there has to be room for everybody on those shows,
True.
not just Lizzo's and Cardi B's, and they get a lot of attention.
They do.
But
Well, they sell a lot.
certainly, so do rock artists.
I think the hardest they've gone in a while has been like Imagine Dragons or Coldplay.
Yeah,
And
like,
that's
they
not
figure if
as rock as
they figure if
No.
they put those two on, it's like we've ticked that box.
yeah. Oh, totally. You can tell the ones that they think are checking boxes. That's for sure.
Even though we're the ones that play Imagine Dragons and not you.
Yeah. So for the representation of rock on the first hand, Gwen Stefani duetting on Just a Girl, which was amazing. I don't remember who it was that she sang with,
Me neither.
but it was great. Alanis Morissette singing with a group of young country artists, female country artists, on her You Ought to Know, and Pretty Perfectly. Like, and she was great because she sounded great, they sounded great, and she was all sort of giving it to them, like, well done, and letting them take the applause, because the group effort was amazing, but I thought she was a class act for sort of standing back and giving it for them.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Shania Twain, she's just like super comfortable where she is in her life right now, which I fully appreciate, because there have been years leading up to this point where there was a bit of struggle, there was a bit of search, and I think she's found it. Whatever it was that she was looking for, I think she's found it. And it was nice to see she was looking for the leopard mini, and she found it. Her husband was with her too at the CMT Awards, which was nice.
But Sharon, I thought we were talking about rock artists.
Well, we are. That's why I mentioned Alanis Morissette and Gwen Stefani.
What about Shania?
Well, Shania made good. She's straight up country, right? So
Just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to make sure.
Well, that's what I mentioned. Like the Country Music Awards were, the ones that sort of highlighted the rock stuff. But bring Shania out and give her an Equal Play Award. Is that what it was called? Sounds
right. Yeah.
And she took the opportunity to sort of urge the CMTs and the world in doing so to sort of encourage, gender parity, and let it be open for everybody. So I thought she was great. I love that she said that when she wrote the line, "Man, I feel like a woman," she had no idea that it would be the undercurrent to a decades-long career, which I loved the ownership of that line. But I love also that she made good on a promise that she made to a group of 4 sisters when she appeared on the Kelly Clarkson show about a month and a half ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. They're called Boyskin, I believe.
Okay.
They're great. just they're perfect harmonies. You can tell that they're family because they sonically pick up where each leaves off, you know. And she said on that show when she was on Kelly Clarkson, these girls performed, and both Kelly Clarkson and Shania Twain looked at them like they were stunned at how good they were. So Shania said, you know, she gave her some advice. They were both giving them advice. And she said, you know, you got to come up on stage with me when I'm in Nashville. And they're like, oh, what? And Kelly Clarkson's like, I got to get a recording of that. You got to make sure that gets to, like, she was fangirling at the same time. So anyways, she made good on that because the girls were with her. I said girls, young women were on stage with her. They did some singing and it was fantastic. Like really
And
cool.
Their name are the Boykins sisters.
Boykins. Yes.
Yeah. The Boykins. You put that Z in the wrong place.
I'll
but
put the Z.
This close.
So close. Yeah, so that I thought was really cool to see.
Nice.
Shania.
They look like a lot of fun, the sisters.
They're very talented. It'll be neat to see what comes of them, and
nice
because they're undeniably good.
I just saw news on my Instagram feed that the band Perry are going their separate ways for a bit, and they're siblings. So
can't go far.
Can't go far because it's your siblings. And it's funny because I was looking at all of their Instagram accounts and I can't remember the numbers now, but like the lead singer, well, I call her lead. I don't follow them enough to know, but I'm pretty sure she is the lead singer. She has like the most Instagram followers, and then her two brothers are kind of way down. So I'm like, I don't know who decided this, but you probably should stay together.
Yikes.
Unless sister wanted to go do her thing. And that's probably because it's funny, like Lance Bass is very open and upfront about how NSYNC is probably never getting together again unless Justin decides that he's gonna do it, because like they're all willing to do it, but he is not. And not that he throws Justin under the bus, because that's not what I'm saying, but it's more like, because like in this show that I watch with Lance, he's talked to like New Kids people and BSB, and like they're all doing their thing still together, but that's because none of them had a huge breakout star, right? And so that's why that works for them. But yeah, it's interesting to see that, like, when Justin made that decision to go solo, at the time, I forget, it was either I think it was JC that said we might just be over. Because they were supposed to take a 6-month break, I think was the plan, 3 or 6 month break, and then Justin decided to do a solo album, and then that was it. And nobody's mad at him. Obviously, they were proud of him for doing his thing, but that was the beginning of the end for them, because he turned out to be such a talented solo artist.
And we saw Justin Timberlake on one of the awards show, wasn't it? The iHeart ones, in part of that tribute to Taylor Swift, I think, eh?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
And that's kind of one of those things like, what's up with him? Is he working on something? Like, not that he shouldn't be contacted to do something like that, but they often go to people who are a little more au courant,
Can I break some Justin Timberlake news?
I was kind of nudging you to do that.
Okay.
Do it.
We have Justin Timberlake news. I will not throw the source under the bus, but we're supposed to get new Justin Timberlake music before the end of the year.
Hells yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I was thinking about this just a few seconds ago, and I was like, who told me this? I feel like I've heard the news that there's going to be new Justin. I was not going to say it because I couldn't find my source, but you did mention that to us. Yeah, that's cool.
And that's, you know what? Even if we don't have a source, if we say it with confidence,
that's all we need.
That's all we need.
I say it with confidence, and I have a source. So,
very good.
Yep.
Who is it? Just kidding.
I can guarantee you, though, this source is very close with Justin, so this is accurate information.
Looking forward to it.
I think, though, even though he's got new music coming out and he's got stuff going on, I think there's time. I think what do I know of his life? But I think that he could make time to do maybe a few shows with NSYNC, because it would make everybody happy.
Well, I believe it was AJ in the I believe it was AJ said in his interview with Lance that they would love to do, and again, I'm saying allegedly because I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure it was AJ, I'm pretty sure, said it would be cool if BSB went out with NSYNC on a tour in 2024. That would be.
Can you imagine?
A hot ticket. And actually, what would be hot too is if New Kids, BSB, and NSYNC went out together.
Gosh, that'd be good.
Because did you go to, Sharon? I went to the NKOT BSB.
I didn't see that, but I have seen the Backstreet Boys. I saw them in the 90s.
That
And they
was
were
like,
great.
because they just did that in like, I want to say 2014, maybe, where they all of them
Yeah.
together, that group. I could not hear for 3 days. My left
Wow.
ear was ringing for 3 days because of ladies in their 30s. losing line. So it was, I think, the loudest concert I've ever been at was those two when what a smart idea to put those two groups together,
Totally.
especially because they were smart and they kept switching off. So like, NKOTV would come out, do like a few songs, they'd come back out, BSB, then they'd sometimes do stuff together. That it was just, you never knew what was gonna happen, and it was great.
Agreed.
Mhm.
So sad news, sorry to have to plug this in, but we were reading this week about LFO's Briz. And at 47 years old, he's passed away.
Mhm.
Now, the truth about that band is that just their evolution, that he had left, right? And then
Believe
he
so,
was
yeah.
he was replaced by somebody else who also has died, not recently. He died back in 2018, but another original member had died back in 2010 after a battle with leukemia.
Mhm.
So it's a very sad story. Certainly at 47 years old, that's way too young. But his friends and family are remembering him fondly.
And Brad's the only remaining member alive.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy? Like, he's the only remaining
Yeah.
member.
Yep. Sad.
Yeah.
Now, if we could perk that back up, I think we would do that with some March Madness. Even though it's April now, it's still okay to talk about March Madness, right, Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the women's basketball, like in general, I should say, all the teams in college basketball at women's level, and they just had their national championship game, and I happened to make sure to watch it. It was Louisiana State University against Iowa, and the Hawkeyes.
Tigers and Hawkeyes?
Yeah, the Tigers and the Hawks going at each other. And it was, from what I remember, the stat is that it was the most watched women's final in history.
Wow.
And it was also the most highest scoring. Like, they actually crossed over the 100-point mark.
Which they hadn't done.
They had not done. I think the highest before might have been a Tennessee team with 95.
Pretty
And
awesome.
it was just such an exhilarating game. And congratulations to all the ladies that took part and did their best. And I was roaring for the Tigers to win. So it's super excited that they won. And it was just great to see how many celebrities, including rapper Lil Wayne, who were very vocal about supporting and going on social media and making it known that, the women's game is amazing and that people should be watching it. And from what I gather, I've heard through the grapevine, I'm not sure if it's 100% confirmed yet, but there's actually on the Tigers team, there's a player named, I believe they pronounce it Floje,
Mhm.
and Johnson. She was a contestant on America's Got Talent a little while ago. I don't know how many years ago, but I want to say at least 4 or
Wow.
5. She signed to Jay-Z's Rock Nation, or she was. And she's
Really?
supposed to now be doing a feature with Lil Wayne.
Nice.
How fun.
So she wins a national championship ring, and she gets to have like a song with Lil Wayne, which is bananas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yep.
Good for her.
Yep.
I like that. And the men played too.
Yeah. I didn't even check the score. I think, did they win? I think it was UConn. I feel like.
UConn did win.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And I think it was like by 17 points or something.
Yeah, they were killing it for a while, so I'm not surprised. But I love college hoops. I think it's amazing, and I'm hoping Shane's raising his hands to the roof in agreement right now.
I like that there's more finesse to the playing at the college level than there is in the pros.
Mm.
The pros, I mean, good for them. It's all fine, but it seems a little bit more long pass, dunk.
Yeah.
Long pass, dunk. It's less exciting. You can see the execution of plays at the college level. And while there are, breakout stars and stuff like that, they really are a team.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the team. They don't have a vested financial interest. It's not their job.
Yeah.
It's true play, which I like.
Exactly. And by the way, you have to both check this out, and Rachel too, because I know Rachel's over in Australia. So the coach, Kim Mulkey, is famous for wearing like ridiculously amazing suits on the sideline.
Nice.
Like just ridiculous, like so fashion forward, like she should be at the Met Ball. And so in this final, so she's obviously with the Tigers. So she had this like bedazzled like tiger pantsuit that was like pink and gold, and she looked amazing. And
Ooh,
I'm
oh.
just like, if you watch all, and if you check out all of her fashion throughout the NCAA tournament, like March Madness, just bananas. Like her fashion choice, just awesome. And by the way, she deserves a shout out too, because she has now won, if I got the stats right, she's won, she's the only person who has won like a championship as a player, as an assistant coach, and as a coach in the NCAA. And she's won
Wow.
it now with at least 2 teams, and I think it's 3, because she now has 4 national championships. So I think it was 3 with Baylor, maybe. No, sorry, 1 with Louisiana Tech, maybe 3 with 2 with Baylor, or 3 with Baylor, and now she's got 1 with Louisiana University. So
And not just like super awesome apparel, her footwear,
yes,
like way too high heels, but she's like
Yep.
in it. It's amazing.
yeah, she's awesome sauce. And yeah, no, I don't know, like it's that whole team, and like their whole team has such personality. Angel Reese, they call her Bayou Barbie because she loves eyelashes, and she's in like, I don't know if she's in full makeup when she's on the court, but she's definitely got her eyelashes ready to go. And so she's
Wow.
actually trademarked, if memory serves, Bayou Barbie. And
Oh,
so
fun.
it's amazing. And I suggest you follow them all on Instagram, because they're a treat. Like they're just so fun, the Louisiana Tigers. So
Can I just
Amazing.
add something? I'm looking at the internet right now, and we were talking about equal pay a few minutes
Yep.
prior. I don't know how much money men's basketball coaches make, but she's making a sweet $2.2 million a year
Wow.
before
she's-
her bonus
she's
payout.
she's up there. She's not the highest it is a man. It might be Gina Oriema from UConn on the women's side. Sorry, no, I'm lying. It might be the coach of UConn on the men's side who might be the highest paid. But
But
they're,
I
and
mean,
like,
good that there is a lot of money being
yeah,
invested in women's basketball, clearly.
yeah. And by the way, a big shout out also, because I'm a fan of Dawn Staley, who used to be a college player. Then she played in the WNBA, and now she's a coach for South Carolina and the Gamecocks. That's the name of that team. And she, I think, is the highest female basketball coach, what, 2-point-something million per year. But she's earned it because she completely turned that program around. They were losing, and she's already brought them to a national title.
Wow.
So, and I
Well,
really think I
bravo to them.
screwed up before Sharon moves on. I believe it is 4 titles in all for Kim. So I think it might be 3 with Baylor and 1 now with Louisiana Tech, Louisiana University. Sorry. And by the way, she coached Brittany Griner also.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Although I
Well,
think their relationship was a bit contentious for a while. So
I don't think that the media is too committed on getting good pictures of her
right.
on the sidelines, because there's a lot more where she's just in it. Like she's
Yeah, she's in
probably
it.
go the whole
Yeah.
game. So maybe it's hard to get one where she's
Yeah.
not making a go face.
Yeah.
But she's pretty impressive.
And if you also just, especially because the story is very fresh this week because they just played the game, but there's so many great behind the scenes stories. I'm sure on both teams, but I was following Louisiana more. But like their point guard Alexis Morris, she'd
Yes,
actually been cut by Kim Mulkey at Baylor in 2019 for breaking team rules.
yeah.
Then she went to like Rutgers for a year. She went to Texas A&M, and then she went back to Kim when Kim went to LSU and asked if she could rejoin the squad and play for her because she really wanted to play for Kim again. And Kim let her back on the squad, and now they've got a
Wow.
national championship.
Nice.
Look
Such
at
a
us
great
being a
story.
sports podcast now.
See,
Yeah.
we're full service.
We're full service.
Very impressive. And if we'll wrap it up on a 90s note with a 90s rewind, we'll go straight to the heart of our favorite decade, back in the springtime of 1995.
What was happening?
You were
Let me
one,
tell
Adam.
you.
I was one.
Your mother was rocking you to sleep with TLC's Creep.
Yeah.
That was a huge one, actually. For
I can
those,
picture that. Yeah.
yeah, very talented young women, 2 of whom were on the iHeart Radio Music Awards presenting an award. Of course, it was the T and the C. Hootie and the Blowfish, Hold My Hand, got a lot of radio airtime in the spring of 95. Darius Rucker, also at the CMT Awards. He sang a song with the Black Keys. He did their She Talks to Angels, which was pretty good. Tupac's Dear Mama broadened his audience quite a bit. Dion Ferris, yeah. I associate Dion Ferris with the very beginnings of this podcast, by the way. She found success outside Arrested Development with a great song called I Know. I know what you're doing. Yeah. Yeah, and other lines. But you guys, do you remember the Blessed Union of Souls?
Yes.
I Believe from 1995. A deep thinker, definitely positive, as it determined that love is the answer, but not quite as enthusiastic as their hit that would come 4 years later, Hey Leonardo, She Likes Me for Me. Remember that one?
You remember it.
You'll never forget it now. That's your 90s rewind.
Thank you, Sharon.
And listener question, I know Adam has to wrap up, but listener question this week is, which show from the 90s do you wish was still on the air?
Ooh, Oprah.
Oh, good one, Sharon.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sharon's feeling it tonight.
I'm
Good.
like, give me all the trivia and I'll drop you with an Oprah.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Oh,
Ooh, that's fun.
wasn't that still
Yeah.
on like as of like last year?
It was on, well, maybe a little bit prior to last year, but
Yeah.
it was on for a while.
I know they kept changing hosts, right? They
Yeah.
kept changing
Well, it
hosts.
just went downhill after. So there was Regis. Then what was her name?
Meredith Vieira
So she was good, but then it went bad from there, I think.
went south. It went sideways.
What was that that show with the British lady who would say
Oh, you are the weakest link.
weakest link?
Mm,
Yeah.
Kelly, what show would you bring back? by the way?
ER.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yep. Yeah.
Nice one.
That was a good, and and the fact that it lasted for so long too, it did what, 14 years, 15 years. I know it's not Grey's. Grey's is completely blowing everything out of the water, but I think ER paved the way for Grey's. So
Certainly. I agree with you.
Yep.
Is it Shonda?
Rhimes.
Is she the actress?
No, she's the creator of Grey's.
Who is the actress that's on Grey's? I thought her name was Shonda also. She was
The
just on General Hospital this week.
Oh yeah. It's I know who you mean, and I'm forgetting. She's awesome. She
Bailey.
plays Dr.
She's
Wilson.
Bailey on Grey's.
Bailey, yeah. Is it Wilson? Bailey Wilson? What is it? Bailey? Dr. Bailey.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
She was
Miranda
like
Wilson?
She was an entertainment reporter.
Is it Miranda Wilson? What's her name?
Chandra Wilson.
Chandra. There you go.
Chandra Wilson.
There we are.
Close. Cool. Now we've given you everything from every decade,
Yeah.
every form of entertainment,
Yeah.
television, radio, music, sports.
Yeah.
You get it here every single show. Sort of.
And occasionally occasionally a dog shimmer and a shake.
Oh yeah. Nonstop. Thank you everybody. And keep the questions coming because we love having those to wrap up the show every week. Thank you for finding us wherever it is that you do that and passing on the good word, taking us with you wherever you're going on your walks or in the car. We appreciate that too. Thank you for listening to 90s Now. Still happening.